What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. Give you that raw content that you deservedly need. And today we're doing an early video. Um, Last night I watched the Steelers and the Browns play. Let's just say the effort was not there. Of course, the head coach Mike Tomlin will get blamed for this loss, but I saw a lot of things I did not like from the Steelers. They did not tackle well. They had 5 turnovers in the game. They were not focused. We could blame the coaches all we want, but there's a thing called playing for your coach, playing with passion and grit. And I didn't see that from the Steelers. Now, I'm a Cowboys fan, so it's random for me to talk about this subject, but I'm going to keep it real. It's really hard to be a black coach in the NFL. I'm going to tell you why. For some reason, players think that if they have a black coach, they could do what they want. They could get away with doing their own thing. Oh, I could slack off because he's a black coach. But if they were playing for Bill Belichick or anybody else, it'll be World War III. This is the problem with the culture of the NFL and football in general. And yes, this happens in the NBA as well. But this is the problem. I did not like what I saw. Missing tackles, being weak on the field. And now we have Shines trying to blame a coach. The coach can only do so much. All the players that's on the Steelers, they need to look in the mirror. Are they trying to win for their coach, Mike Tomlin, who's a brother? Or are they trying to have it blamed on him? But Rev, what you think, man?
Wonderful introduction, brother. To be real with you, I don't even think players, the majority of African American players, I don't even think they view it in those terms anymore. I know we came hard, we came down hard on Steven Jackson yesterday, but lately he has been saying some things that have some merit to it and are real. He was saying about James Harden's situation with the Houston Rockets and how James Harden should want to go and support that African American coach with everything that's going on instead of doing some of the things that he was doing. This is a age old myth. You know what I'm saying? That it was put out by white front offices in order not to have to pay African American coaches and to put African American quarterbacks in a position of leadership in the NFL. This has been happening forever. You know what I'm saying? And the dirty rumor or whisper in football, period, is that African American players will not respect an African American coach and that African American QBs are just athletes and they are not intelligent enough to understand coverages and the playbook. These are stereotypes that we're talking about today on the show. It's hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch. If you ask me, Cleveland is the better team overall. Cleveland is just a better football team. They got 2 supreme rushers in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubbs. They've got Jarvis Landry at wide receiver. They got Austin Hooper coming over from the Atlanta Falcons at tight end. Baker Mayfield managed the game because that's all he is an overglorified game manager. He managed the game. He did a good job. He didn't have any turnovers or any interceptions. You know what I'm saying? And the Browns schematically had a far superior scheme because they have a far superior team. You can do more when you have more. They got Myles Garrett on the defensive end, on the defensive side of the ball. I always thought Cleveland was going to win this game because Pittsburgh wasn't trending in the right direction. But one of the reasons why they weren't trending in the right direction, DJ, is because there's a lack of discipline issue. And the reason why it's a lack of discipline issue, I think, going all the way back to Antonio Brown, bringing a cell phone in the locker room before the AFC Championship, before they played the New England Patriots, going on Facebook Live. I feel as though the players on that team do not respect Mike Tomlin as a coach, the African-American players. We see this all the time. I remember on Hard Knocks when I was young, Mike Singletary was on Hard Knocks, and the San Francisco 49ers were on Hard Knocks, and all the players were bitching and complaining to other members of the coaching staff, saying that Mike Singletary was too tough, and Vernon Davis was bitching and complaining about how tough Mike Singletary was, or who does he think he is. This is something that is definitely, I'm telling you, it's been whispers about this since forever. Just a little backstory real quick to start off the show. When I was in my third year in college, I took on like a little intern coaching job. I won't say intern. I was working there, but it was fugazi, you know what I'm saying? Like they was playing with the money or whatever. But I was just enjoying being around, the high school kids and just the bond we built. I coached cornerback for a high school in the South, right? I was a cornerbacks coach. And I used to sit there and I used to listen. Check this out, DJ. I used to listen to the conversations of some of the white coaches. I'm not saying all of the white coaches, but some of the white coaches on how they talked about the black players on the team. And how if it was a player they had no interest in, they wrote them off. If it was a superstar player, they coddled them. And the black coaches were used as the enforcers. But when it came to X's and O's, they never really respected the opinions of the black coaches. And that was something that I watched firsthand. And, by the middle of the season, I was out of there. You know what I'm saying? And I got my personal reasons for being out of there. Maybe one day I'll talk about it on the show. But I'm telling you, when it comes to authority and black coaches, this is definitely a myth in football. And it's in all sports, but most importantly in football.
Bro, you coming with the heat, my brother, man. We're not going to sugarcoat on this channel. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of brothers, not all, but a lot of brothers tend to not respect our own as coaches. You have seen it, Rev. I have seen it. When I was in high school and we played football, we had a black assistant coach, and all they would do is just take advantage of them. Because they're so comfortable, because he's one of us. We get to do our own thing. But that's not right. It should be the other way around. It should be, hey, let's make this brother look good as a coach so he can keep a job, so he can provide for his family. Let's look out for him. But they don't do that for some reason. And it's really sad. Today I watched media, old media, we call it. Instead of talking about the 5 turnovers, Ben Roethlisberger's horrible play, or even Myles Garrett's elite defense for the Browns, they were talking about Mike Tomlin, a coach, matter of fact, a coach who is above 500 this past 10 years, more than 10 years, 12 years. He has never been below 500. And now radio heads in Pittsburgh and shines alike are saying, should we move on from Mike Tomlin? Trust me, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I wish I had a coach like Mike Tomlin any day. A coach who has never been below 500, I'll take that. I'm going to give you an example. The Detroit Lions had Jim Caldwell as a head coach. Now, Jim Caldwell will have seasons going 9-7, 8-8, but he's never been below 500. He was fired because he could not win the division against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. See, this is why being a black coach is tough. The standards are different. It's never the same. It's never the same at all. And we got some fans, even the Browns fan. The Renegade says, I'm a Browns fan to our dead and rock with Uncle Mike Tomlin. I always defend him. You got Browns fans feeling bad for Mike Tomlin because they saw the pathetic performance from his players. They were pillow tackling out there. And these buffoons want to talk about it's his fault. Are they watching what we're watching? You got Juju Smith-Schuster mucking it up. Yes, he had 150 yards receiving, but he out there dancing on logos, tit-talking. After the coach said, hey, man, let's cool on that. Guess what he did? He did it anyway, just like Antonio Brown.
But because they don't respect the coach.
Exactly.
They don't respect the coach. I'm telling you, I've witnessed this on a high school level. And the biggest problem Deion Sanders is going to have is the players separating Deion Sanders, the entertainer, from Deion Sanders, the coach. Deion Sanders, coming from where I come from, Deion Sanders speaking to me in a manner that I can understand, speaking with my lingo, versus I still have to respect him. Just because he speaks like he's my age doesn't mean he's my age, and he demands authority. Just because he's my color doesn't give me a right to denigrate or go on TikTok and disrespect his word, but turn around and grovel and take less money for Bill Belichick. Somebody mentioned Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, that's your problem right there, Big Ben Raper. That's what I call him. I'm not going to say the B word on here, but I call him Big Ben Raper Chick. That's his nickname for me, because this guy has been accused of rape twice and settled twice, and evidence was out there twice, and he's still in the National Football League. Still in the National Football League. Ray Rice has an incident with his wife in an elevator. The man ain't seen a football field since. The only time you see a football field is in a field of dreams. So the problem is Big Ben Rapovich. That's the problem. The organization caters to Big Ben Rapovich. That's what it is. Mike Tomlin, to me, is a figurehead. I'm just gonna keep it real, DJ. I can't call it no other way. They did the same thing with Tony Dungy. When an African-American coach wins, they always try to they use these words. Y'all gotta be hip to the game. They use certain words to marginalize African-American coaches and African-American quarterbacks. They use words like Mike Tomlin is a great motivator. Tony Dungy is such a great motivator and a man of religion. He knows how to speak. They never really talk about the X's and O's. Jim Caldwell is the only coach that I heard them talk about the X's and O's, but you're absolutely right, DJ. They didn't give him, first off, is the Detroit Lions. Since I've been on this planet, the Detroit Lions ain't never won shit. They done been through quarterbacks. They done been through coaches. So anybody that can resurrect that franchise, hey, power to you. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't give this guy the keys to succeed. Megatron left the team, and you got Matthew Stafford throwing the mini receivers, throwing a bunch of interceptions. It is what it is. For a black quarterback, they don't use the word cerebral, student of the game, a guy that can read coverages, a guy that can read blitz pickups and call audibles. No, they say he's an hell of an athlete. He's a hell of an athlete. He's a generational athlete. This is how they marginalize us. They do the same thing with coaching. They do the same thing with coaching. And until somebody starts calling this stuff out, they're going to continue to do it. That's the only thing they say about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a great motivator. You got guys within the organization, Hall of Famers within the organization, racists like Terry Bradshaw. They get to come out and publicly disrespect Mike Tomlin every chance he gets. He's a great motivator, but as far as coach, he's not a very good coach. Look, man, what was the dude that was there before Mike Tomlin when the bus was there? He's on CBS now. What's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. He won a Super Bowl with the bus. Well, the coach that was there before Mike Tomlin, he was in Pittsburgh for a lot of years before he won anything. He went to the Super Bowl against the Cowboys, and they got mollywopped. They got spanked. Wasn't nobody calling for his job. So it's all about the respect that these players, African-American players, show to these coaches. They allow for this kind of situation to happen. Same thing with Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary drafts all those linemen in San Francisco, sets the foundation for Jim Harbaugh to be successful. Bill Cowher, Bill Cowher, I remember him. But sets the table for the San Francisco 49ers to be successful. Everybody was jonesing him and joking on him when I was in high school because he was drafting all those linemen back-to-back for the San Francisco 49ers. And those same linemen ended up anchoring the best line in the NFL that got them to the NFC Championship the next year and then got them to the Super Bowl the year after that, after they fired Mike Tomlin. Go ahead, DJ.
Man, powerful, brother. Yeah, Bill Cowher was doing the same things as Mike Tomlin. Actually, Mike Tomlin has a higher winning percentage than Bill Cowher because Mike Tomlin has yet to have a season under 500. I think there was an off year with Bill Cowher. I think it was like 2 off years.
Yeah, he has some off years. He damn sure did.
Yeah, he did. And Mike Tomlin has never had one. Let's keep it fair. And we know that Bill Cowher is beloved in Pittsburgh. He's from there. So they treat him a certain way different than Mike Tomlin. But the players, look at the players when they play for Bill Cowher. Man, they will run through a wall for Bill Cowher.
Yeah.
For Mike Tomlin, oh, it's just Mike Tomlin. He's a brother. He's going to let us do what we want. Like Best Impact said, the Steelers equal TikTok stars. This ain't the Steelers I've known watching. The Steelers I've known watching for years are very intimidating, physical, very protective of their coaches, don't want to let them down. But these brothers, man, they just don't give a damn. When I watched the Browns last game, the Browns played like a team that was playing for more. They were playing for the coaches. They were playing for the city. They didn't want to let them down. I just wish the Steelers would have applied that same energy. If they would have done it, they probably would have won the game. But since they were all into themselves, they probably came in the game cocky. And I know a lot of people are not going to admit this, but the Browns have a good roster. Even with the injuries they have a deep roster.
Amazing roster.
And people underestimated that. They just see the name and no logo, and they said the Browns, and we're going to get this win, and they got their ass beat. True to King, shout out to True to King, Philly in the house. He said Mike Tomlin, maybe the best Steelers coach of all time. Schematic-wise, and I know they're going to say Chuck Noll because he won those Super Bowls, but we're going to keep it all the way real on the show. Chuck Noll inherited a team that was so talented with Mean Joe Green and the Steel Curtain.
2 Hall of Fame wide receivers.
You can't, Lynn Swan and the company. I'm not trying to take anything away from Chuck Noll, but that's coaching heaven right there. You know who deserves credit for those teams? The scouting department. For getting those brothers. Back in the day, the best athletes were the brothers that played for small schools, HBCUs, small colleges. Oh, I see you from Delaware. Shout out to Delaware. My bad.
King, I swear you be sounding like you straight out of Philly, bro.
Yeah, I thought he was from Philly, man. Brother. But yeah, I think that I know a lot of people are not going to like us saying it, but I really feel that Mike Tomlin, even with one championship, is the best Steelers coach of all time. Just the fact that he's never had a losing season. Look at Chuck Knowles. If you look on Wikipedia, right, and you look at the 80s with the Steelers, the late 80s, Chuck Knowles didn't win when that steel curtain was no more. Actually, he had some losing seasons and some subpar seasons. I have yet to see a subpar season from Mike Tomlin. Now, there was a year he didn't make the playoffs, but he still had an above 500 record. So the stats point in favor with Mike Tomlin.
I want to pose a question to you and everyone that's listening in the chat. And shout out to True the King. Shout out to Rap G Reloaded. Shout out to everybody that's listening, man. D-Lo Cowboys, Diz King Sports Network, everybody, man. Y'all support. Y'all hit the video. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I want to pose the question. If Juju Smith-Schuster was on the New England Patriots, would he be doing TikTok videos before the game?
Oh, my. You just opened a bombshell, my brother.
What do you think, brother?
Hell no. Look at Antonio Brown. Do you know that Antonio Brown was in his best behavior when he was not with the Steelers, when he was with the Patriots for a short time? You didn't hear anything about Antonio Brown. And then now with the Bucks, he's like a new person. He was acting the ass with the Steelers.
Buck breaking.
Just buffooning, shucking and jiving. Just acting a plumb old fool. And then he plays for white coaches. And now all of a sudden, he's like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. He wasn't doing that shit with the Steelers. Never seen him do that with the Steelers at all. And this is what we're talking about. There's a double standard, man. I don't know if it's comfortability when you play with a black coach, but I would think that you would want the black coach to look good. That's what I would think.
They don't respect themselves, DJ, so they're not gonna respect the coach.
Exactly.
That's what it is. They don't respect themselves. They look at the coach as, yo, this is just another Nick, just like me. Who is he to tell me F this? Yo, I'm telling you, I've been in the locker room, bro. When I was coaching that team, like when I was the cornerback coach, I saw how players treated the black coaches versus how they treated the white coaches. Like I saw it. And this is something like if you've been in locker rooms, they like it's an unspoken thing. Like it's an unspoken thing. Same thing with the black quarterbacks. We got to have that discussion as well. And shout out to Shara Johnson, yo. If football ain't your sport, we still appreciate you for coming through and listening and rocking. You know, hit the like button, share the video, and everybody, you know, that want to hear about basketball. Y'all know Melo playing tonight. Y'all pull up tonight after the game. We're gonna light it up. But you know, right now dealing with this topic, man, it's sickening to watch, man. And I got so much hope for Deion Sanders and JSU, bro. Like I got so much hope. I'm buying some merchandise. I'm gonna go to a couple games. I'm gonna support, but I am afraid because I know how this could happen and I know how this could go. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how this could go. I've seen it happen too many times because what happens a lot of times, DJ, a lot of these cats that are coaching come from the inner cities. And with these young men, when they see these coaches addressing them in a certain way, they feel as though they are equals. And they feel as though these coaches aren't their coaches, they're their peers. So once the disciplinary side has to kick in, it's like, oh, this switching up. Who are you to tell me anything? You know what I'm saying? And that's when the disrespect comes in. Like the Antonio Brown situation, bringing the cell phone in the locker room and going live while your coach is doing a motivational speech against the Patriots. But the week before y'all play them. That's a total disregard and lack of respect for the coach. Juju Smith-Schuster out there dancing on people's logos. Man, you know, come on, bro. And they don't even look at it, DJ. They don't look at it like, oh, well, we're going to make this brother look bad. The new generation has assimilated so much, they actually feel like there is no struggle. And once they gain success and get a check from the NFL or get a check from the NBA, and they're considered a star player, they actually feel like the organization is looking out for them. And they look at the coach like, yo, if you do me wrong, your ass is expendable. That's the way they look at it. Let me tell you a real quick story, bro. And I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. The reason why I left that job, this is a true story. Anybody that knows me in real life knows it's true. I was in college. I played for Wallace State, you know what I'm saying? And then some things happened, and I ended up going back to college a couple of years later. And I went to AUM, Auburn University in Montgomery. So I'm about to play ball for Auburn University in Montgomery. But I'm doing this coaching gig that I was telling y'all about as an internship at a high school in the South, right? I'm not going to name the high school. This is what made me leave this job, and this is what I'm telling you, DJ. It was a coach on our team that was the defensive line coach. He was a brother, strong brother, throwback brother. You know what I'm saying? The type cursing you out, telling you soft, get your ass up, all that. You know what I'm saying? Hard-nosed coach. They would not directly disrespect this brother because they were afraid he was going to throw them paws on him. But when he would leave, they would talk about how he couldn't coach. They would talk bad about him, talk about how they want to beat his ass and all of this. At the same time, the fat-ass offensive coordinator, and I'm not playing the race card, I'm just telling y'all my story and what I witnessed. You know, this white individual, fat-ass dude, never coached a day in his life. He just happened to be friends with the head coach. Actually admitted to us that he gets a lot of offensive schemes from playing Madden. Whenever he would speak, the players would listen to him like he was the gospel because he was the offensive coordinator. The situation that made me leave was this. It was a young man that was the star receiver, and he ended up going overseas to play basketball. He was a hell of an athlete. But one day he's sitting in the coach's room, and we all in there, you know what I'm saying, after practice. He's sitting in the coach's room, and it's some chips sitting on the desk. And he goes over to the coach, and he's like, I shit you not, bro. This is a true story. I shit you not. He goes over to the coach, and he's like, White Daddy, can I get some chips? Bruh, I'm not lying to you, bro. If I'm lying, I'm flying, bro. He said, White Daddy, can I get some chips? And the coach, I almost called the coach name. He starts laughing with the offensive coordinator, and he's like, yeah, he is like my son. He is like my son. Boy, you want some chips? You can get some chips. Go on, give him the whole bag. He called me his dad. Go on, get the whole bag. I had to get the fuck, I almost cursed. I had to get up out of there. But when I'm leaving out of the office, the other coach, the defensive line coach, the brother, he comes up to the young man and he grabs him by his collar and he throws him against the wall. And he said, boy, I better not ever hear you call that man daddy again. Do you know what we went through? And do you know the wide receiver had the nerve to get mad at the coach and want to fight the coach? That was my last day working there, DJ. This is a true story, bro. I can't make this up. This is a true story. This kind of mentality, every level I've been a part of, I've seen this kind of mentality. So I know it exists. I know it exists in these locker rooms. I saw how Antonio Brown did Mike Tomlin, and I saw how he respected Bill Belichick. And I see how he's down there playing little boy for Tom Brady. Yeah, but that's a true story, bro.
Wow. This is why new media is always needed. You hear stories like this. This stuff happens. I'm from the South. I've seen similar stuff like that. Just a bunch of buck breaking going on. It's really pathetic, man. I've seen brothers just kiss the feet of white coaches. And we're not trying to be like this is a race thing, but this is a real thing. That's the difference. These things actually happen. It happens. And it is really pathetic to see Antonio Brown, who was the most arrogant, disrespectful fool on the Steelers, all of a sudden become a choir boy playing for the Patriots for a little bit and now for the Bucks. Antonio Brown was talking so glowingly of Tom Brady like he was Jesus.
Facts.
Facts. Like he was Muhammad or something. He was out there like Tom Brady. He gives us life, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I didn't see this with the Steelers. All of a sudden, he changed. He think he got us full. The truth is, brothers like him and Juju and many others are programmed. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go really deep on this. Most brothers, not all, since they're not used to a black authoritative figure, they give off feminine energy. They have been emasculated when they were young, so they don't know how to treat a leader right. All they have been taught is to treat their quote-unquote zaddy, their white daddy, well.
God damn.
They've been programmed like that. They're like this on the field. They're clearly like this, and Rev can attest to this. They're like this. Coach, I'll do anything you say. I pick up the water bottles. I get the footballs. I get the tape for the trainers. Anything he said to get on the roster. They're begging and pleading. They beg these coaches to look at their highlight tapes. They'll do weird special team practices. And Rev, you know how tough the special team practices are.
Right.
It's like a train wreck. So a coach will be like, Jaquan, if you want some minutes, you're going to have to be the gunner on the punt team. And you're going to have some collisions, but it's the only way to get you on the full. So they manipulate you, believing you can only get on the field if you do this. And now you're on the special teams getting effed up, having concussions, but all to please your white zaddy. But when you have a brother who has never been below 500 in Mike Tomlin, who, as you could tell, if you listen to Mike Tomlin talk, you could tell he was raised by a mother and a father. Now there's disrespect. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm cleaning the whole house up. I'm not going to have Big Ben's punk ass on there. Have him retire. He's done.
Yeah, he's 5 years over the hill, bro.
Yeah, he's done, man. All that backyard football he be doing, you can't do that no more. Not at that age. They got to move on.
Bro, True the King said something that is so deep, brother. He said, those black coaches got to know these patterns, shaking my head. The story continues. You know what I'm saying? Before this incident happened that caused me to walk away from the team, I'm going to tell y'all the truth, bro. I ain't gonna never get on here and cap or front and no shit like that. Bro, look, I had a spell of my life where I was doing all kind of shit. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was wilding, you know what I mean? Like I was out there, you know what I mean? So when that opportunity came up for me to get that job, I didn't know nothing about no football, bro. I didn't know nothing about no football. Like for real, I'm a hooper. But the job came open. They said they needed a cornerback coach. So I took the job. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't know what the hell I was doing. But I did know what a locker room was. And I did know the kind of shoe shining stuff brothers be doing. So I said when it came to my position, we're not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? So when I used to coach the cornerbacks, I coached them a certain way. Even though, no cap, I was getting my shit from Madden too. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I remember one game, I'll never forget this, DJ. Check it out. And this goes to the brother's point about black coaches knowing these patterns. I understood we had inferior talent at the cornerback position. And I didn't know. So it was one game, I was in there subbing in cornerbacks like I was playing Madden. Like, no lie, bro. No cap. I was subbing in cornerbacks like I was playing Madden. Like, every other play, I was sending another corner out there. Because really, I'm not going to cap. I did not know what the hell I was doing. I was just trying to get some bread. That's what it was. So I'm sending these cornerbacks out. And one of my corners, I'm not going to call his name, he was athletic, but he didn't understand a zone 3 scheme. And at the time, once again, I'm never going to cap, I ain't understand a zone 3 scheme. So I send him out there because he's athletic. And he ends up trying to jump a rub route, and the guy ends up flaring out and scoring a touchdown. They knew I was out there sending them boys out there like goddamn Madden 20. You know what I'm saying? But the coach looked at me, and I gave him a look. And I'm not saying anyone else should do this, DJ, but I gave that coach a look like, I will tear your face off, boy. And the coach directly turned the other way. But after the game, believe it or not, my cornerbacks respected me, one, for giving them the opportunity, and two, for standing up to the quote-unquote right authoritative figure. A lot of times, the old coaches or the culture of the old, not just old media, we accept, that word is coming around. Shout out to Mr. Jones, my brother. What's going on? We accept the process. We accept the process. Mike Tomlin can't come out and address the lack of disrespect that African-American athletes might be showing him, because that goes against the process. Like, you know something that really pisses me off, DJ? When these black quarterbacks go and sit on these panels and downgrade these other black quarterbacks that they know don't get the same level of opportunities. They know that they don't get the same level of leeway. Bro, Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State was drafted 3 years ago. The guy got a season and a half to start before he was out of the Washington Redskins.
Hey, brother, who's drafted last year? 2000.
So 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years. 2019.
Yeah, so he's only gotten 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't start at the beginning of the season last year. So really, I was trying to be generous. He's got about, 13, 14 games on his belt? Even before the situation with the strip club or whatever and COVID, bro, they was done with Dwayne Haskins. Same thing with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had a lot of interceptions, but he had a lot of touchdowns as well. Now he's on the bench with the New Orleans Saints. But a guy like, let's say, Phillip Rivers, who ain't never won nothing. Phillip Rivers ain't won nowhere he been. Continues to get opportunities. Alex Smith. Yeah, Alex Smith's leg is a great story. But Alex Smith has been an average quarterback everywhere he been. His first 6-7 years in the league was horrible. But they allow him to be horrible to the point he realized, because now I do know about football, I got a weak arm, and I can throw to the tight end over the middle, and that'll keep me in the lead. The same thing Ryan Tannehill does. So these are the kind of things that we accept. And instead of, once we get a platform, and this is why new media is so important, once we get a platform, a guy like Stephen A. Smith, a guy like Shannon Sharp, and I've heard Shannon Sharp speak up on this kind of thing before, so I'm not going to cap. But a guy like Stephen A. Smith or Michael Vick, these guys that have platforms now, instead of speaking up against the injustices that they know go on in the locker room, they turn a blind eye to it and act like, oh, it's just a part of the process. The only black quarterback, that has always stood up and spoke out against the things that happened to the coaches, because he spoke about it by his coach in Minnesota, Danny Green, and the quarterbacks, is Warren Moon. Every chance Warren Moon gets, he's speaking up about the biases that black coaches go through and the biases that black quarterbacks go through.
Man, powerful, man. And shout out to Warren Moon. He's a good brother, legend at Houston Oilers at the time. Stand-up guy. And the city always respects him. This is all true, man. This is all truth. Like Dwayne Haskins, he was set to fail. Mr. Jones, you're right. They never built an offense around him. Ron Rivera clearly didn't want him on the team. This is before the stripper incident. I saw it then. It's tough to be a black coach. It's tough to be a black quarterback. And I know a lot of shines complain about Michael Vick because of some damn dogs. But Michael Vick is the only one to have the kahunas to defend black coaches and quarterbacks. Last night he showed Lamar Jackson love, appreciation, and gratitude. Let's keep it all the way 1,000 on this. A lot of our own people can be jealous of someone else's success. If they're not getting success, they want the other person to fail. This is the bullshit mentality that's in our community. And it has to be rectified, not only in sports, but in life. The pattern still goes on. The same person who claims that they support the brothers, they support the cause, are plotting for your downfall behind your back. You can't trust anybody these days. And True the King is right. The hate on Lamar Jackson is disgusting.
Facts.
Talking about he can't throw. He won a Heisman. He was throwing all over the field at Louisville. Did we forget?
And see, DJ, that's what's so damn crazy, insane. This is what I'm saying about the organization setting them up to fail. Bro, do y'all see those fucking, my bad. Do y'all see those pass plays that they run for Lamar Jackson? Like, those are some elementary school ass passing concepts. They treat him like he can't throw. So they make it hard for him in the playoffs because they're not giving him a lot of options when it comes to route patterns and route combinations because they treat him like he's an athlete that can't throw. That's his own organization doing that shit. His best receiver is Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown 5'10", man. Who else he throwing to? And if you notice, DJ, I want to throw this to you, bro. When Vic was on the Falcons, bro, who was Vic number one receiver? I'm asking everybody in the chat. When Vic was on the Falcons, who was his number one receiver? For Cam Newton, once Steve Smith got old and they traded him, who was Cam Newton's number one receiver? Russell Wilson, before DK Metcalf got there, who was Russell Wilson's number one receiver? We know about Lockett. I don't want to hear about no short-ass slot receivers. I'm talking about premier guys that all of these other quarterbacks of another ethnicity get. Who are these guys' primary receivers? With the Falcons, it was criminal. You remember though, DJ?
Yeah, for the Falcons, it was Rodney White.
No. Roddy White was only there with him for a year.
For a year.
That was the year Vic got suspended.
Yeah, you're right about that. Anybody who knows the Michael Vick's number one before Roddy White got there.
My guy B. Mill got the answer right. One of the number ones was Brian Finneran.
Finneran, yes, him.
Purely.
Boy, that was a horrible receiving core.
Algie Crumpler, the blocking tight end that played for the Patriots. These are the kind of guys that they give these so-called athletes. You rarely see them with a premier receiver. Go ahead, bro.
For Cam Newton, Ted Ginn on that Super Bowl year. I remember that.
Ted goddamn Ginn, man. The punt returner. This is the kind of stuff that the organization does to set people up to fail. Before somebody mentions the dream team with the Eagles with Jeremy Maclin and Deshaun Jackson, that's not a team that Michael Vick inherited and they drafted around Michael Vick. That was Donovan McNabb's team, who they had just benched for raggedy-ass Kevin Cobb that nobody remembers. These are the kind of games and the tricks they play. These are the kind of games and the trick they play. Since we're talking about Mike Tomlin going 14 years, Mike Tomlin has a Super Bowl ring. Andy Reid was in Philadelphia for 20 years and never won anything. But he got another chance in Kansas City. He got a generational quarterback, and now he has a Super Bowl ring.
You know,
this is what I'm talking about. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, sorry about that, bro. You know what's crazy, man? About we just named all these teams, right? Cam Newton for the Patriots, right? Did you know that they have the last place receiving core? Even worse than the
Trash.
Ravens. Horrible team. They had the 9 opt-outs before the season. No one talks about that. But they have the nerve to talk about Cam Newton like he's some scrub. If you put him on a good situation, you think he's going to play that bad?
Bro, they do this all the time, bro. They do this all the time. It's a hidden agenda that is in plain sight. I really defy y'all really to go down the list of black quarterbacks and look at their weapons. The one in the best situation was Dak Prescott. But once again, Dak Prescott came into a situation where he had to earn the starting job over Tony Romo. They didn't draft those receivers for Dak Prescott. They drafted CeeDee Lamb this year, but we don't even know, and we didn't know at the time, if Dak Prescott was going to get extended. And I still have my doubts. Jerry Jones does a lot of snake shit. I remember when Jerry Jones drew that line with T.O. and said, I never want to be on a team I never want to own a team where you're not a part of it. And then the next day, he cut T.O. So, I mean, the whole Dak Prescott situation is another example. A brother playing his ass off, just asking for what he's due. He goes out there and bets on himself, breaks himself up, and now there's been rumors and reports about how bad the Cowboys want Trevor Lawrence. This is the kind of stuff that brothers go through as far as quarterbacks and coaches. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mike Tomlin get fired, DJ. That wouldn't surprise me. And this news about Doug Peterson in Philadelphia once again just proves our point that they're always coddling these other quarterbacks. They did that because they didn't want to get rid of Carson Wentz. Even though Jalen Hurts was playing his ass off, they benched that kid just to make sure he couldn't solidify the starting spot because they're so worried about the feelings of Carson Wentz. Brother, proof is in the pudding.
Man, that's a great point, man. That all makes sense now. Can you imagine if Jalen Hurts would have spoiled Washington, spoiled the whole season, like destroyed the whole season? It would have put the Giants in the playoffs, ruined the Washington season. That would have solidified Jalen Hurts. It would have, and they benched him for no reason. If you looked at Jalen Hurts, especially like, I'm trying to win a game. What are you doing? But these are the type of games they play. You know, we say politics, but it's politics. Because they playing all these tricks and trying to control the media and control what is said. And they make you the villain when you ask for what you owe. Instead of Jerry Jones and the agent going to the big boy table and getting this contract done, they've allowed it to go into the media airwaves and make it seem like Dak Prescott is some type of greedy player for saying they owe him a little more money for the rookie season in the first 2 seasons he's played. And don't forget, the quarterback market is going up.
Facts.
But they want to call these players selfish. Deshaun Watson led the league in passing with 4,000 plus yards, I think 30-something touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. That's impressive.
Without Dwayne Hopkins.
Yeah, without Hopkins there or a legitimate number 1 receiver and a bad offensive line and bad head coaches. He did this. Now you have Shine saying he's not worth all that money because they didn't win. They didn't win because they didn't have a good team. What are you talking about? This is what the black quarterback goes through. If this was anybody else, look at that rookie from the Chargers, right?
Justin Herbert, yeah.
Yeah, Herbert. They have a losing record. But the roles are reversed. They're like, oh, he's a great quarterback. He's record-breaking. It's not his fault that they lost. They've been saying all this shit. But for Watson, oh, they shouldn't pay him all that money. This is why new media exists, y'all. This is why y'all got to get on the team, man. Nobody's talking about what we're talking about. I don't see anybody being as real as what we are today.
Because they're gonna come in here with that suckish talking about trust the process, and this is just how it goes, and it's not a racial thing. Let me go ahead and give y'all the counter arguments before y'all come to the comment section later on and find them. These are the counter arguments you're gonna hear. Well, Patrick Mahomes is black, and Russell Wilson is black, and these guys they're successful, and but let's keep it a buck, right? Even though Patrick Mahomes is black, he is biracial. He is biracial, and he's such a generational talent. Bro, you can't hide nobody like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes out there throwing behind the back passes on the football field, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, just like with LaMelo, sometimes with generational talent, there's nothing you can do to stop that. That's the most highest call. You know what I'm saying? With Russell Wilson, a lot of players on the Seattle Seahawks had a problem with Russell Wilson. And I'm not saying this is not my opinion, but this is what the reports were saying at the end of the Legion of Boom. They were saying they felt like he was a yes man and he was a good old boy. And they felt like he took a lot of stances that went against the team at the behest of, I can't even think of the dude's name now, the cat that be chewing all the gum, Pete Carroll. You know what I'm saying? And they felt like, and this is what Richard Sherman said. I didn't say it. And I'm not saying I'm approving of it, but Richard Sherman said he's a cornball brother. You know what I mean? So everything ain't equal. And even then, Russell Wilson's first 4 years in Seattle, bro, his leading receiver was Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin was drafted in like the 5th round. They weren't giving him no help. I'm telling y'all what I've studied. I'm telling y'all what I've watched. Unfortunately, I've seen this. It's sick and it's unfair. Like the coach from the Chargers getting fired. Bro, you got a rookie quarterback. Why are they firing that brother? The rookie has shown promise and strides. When you want to keep continuity with him, instead of getting him another offensive coordinator and another head coach, this is his first year in the league. The coach was supposed to win 10 games this year with a rookie. It doesn't make sense. But what you have is you have remnants of old media that will come in here on this channel and tell y'all to trust the process. They'll tell y'all, oh, well, this is the way things done. Well, it's done like this because like Renegade said, because y'all are simps and you accept it. If a person comes in there and they see all of these things that we're talking about and they cannot accept the reality of what we're saying and their only response is, well, this is just the way things go and y'all know how it is. I don't know how nothing is. I ain't got to accept that. And that's why I love DJ's channel, because the brother is giving you the raw, uncut truth. Hashtag new media. He's absolutely right. No one is talking about this. If Lamar Jackson wins this game, or wins the Super Bowl, or gets to the AFC Championship, they're going to be talking about his athleticism. They will not be talking about his quarterback play. They'll be talking about how he's a generational athlete. What they kept showing, the highlight they kept showing from the game is when he ran the ball and scored the touchdown from the 49-yard line. That's sick, man. That's sick.
Bro, you see what True the King said? I'm glad you said this, True the King. The old media only likes black quarterbacks that are traditional. So true, man. So true. Like, it's like they're pitting one black quarterback against another. See, Russell Wilson can pass. Russell Wilson is everything you wanted a quarterback versus Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar Jackson, he's just good at running. He's very fast. He's probably the fastest on the field. Thank God he can run. Thank God he has that gift for running that really just makes him. But they fail to realize that the Baltimore Ravens have a stable of backs and they just want to run. I've seen Lamar Jackson play at Louisville. This dude used to light it up on the air. He has a strong arm, but he's not. And even though the receiving core is better than New England, is still bottom 5 last.
Trash.
You can't have your number one receiver be a 5'10" speedster at times. They don't have a true number one at all. I'm telling you right now, if Lamar Jackson played on an offense that had big, fast receivers and they have the run pass option in play action, you're telling me he won't have 4,000 passing yards?
Absolutely.
I think he would.
Absolutely.
But this is what the old media tries to do. They try to create a narrative with the players. And I see why the players hate the media. I don't blame them because of shit like this. The disrespect. This brother was an MVP last season. They were so mad that Lamar Jackson was an MVP over plenty of golden boys that all they were doing was sneak dissing him. Oh, he's a running back playing quarterback.
I
and
mean,
they try to make it to a positive.
God damn.
Disrespectful. Disrespectful, man.
You know when I knew it was bad, DJ?
What's good, bro?
All year, all I've been hearing about is these pity stories for Carson Wentz, bum ass. And once again, just because I didn't know football that 1 year that I was coaching, I went and learned about the game of football. I went and studied the game of football. So now I know the game of football. With that being said, if you study the Philadelphia Eagles offense, they don't have a traditional offense. They run a gimmick offense. Doug Peterson understood Carson Wentz's flaws. One of the things that people always say about Carson Wentz is he's tall, he's big, and he has a strong arm. Well, so did Jamarcus Russell. A strong arm isn't always the best thing to have if you have no accuracy, if you can't stay in the pocket, if you can't step up in the pocket. So with that being said, I've heard all of these excuses for Carson Wentz all year. So it got to the point where I started hearing, well, what kind of organization has a franchise quarterback or drafts a franchise quarterback and sits there and drafts a guy like Jalen Hurts in the second round? Could you imagine what that does to Carson Wentz's confidence? Hold up, pause, bring it back. Let's talk about the curious case of Robert Griffin III. That's the throwback. The curious case of Robert Griffin III. This is when I knew, as a young head, how disrespectful the league is. Bro, Robert Griffin was drafted after winning a Heisman to be the Washington Redskins' #1 quarterback. In the same draft, they turned around and drafted Kirk Cousins. Bro, what other, come on, bro. What other organization does that, bro? Like, what other organization does that? Like, who does that to their franchise quarterback? You draft a guy to be your #1 quarterback. And in the same draft, well, just in case this guy's an athlete, let's get a pure pocket passer if he doesn't work out. Bruh, this is the kind of stuff that black quarterbacks go through. This is the kind of stuff that black coaches go through. I always bring it up because it's one of the most disgusting and despicable displays of arrogance I've ever seen in sports. When black athletes are being drafted, they're supposed to come on TV, hug the commissioner, gravel, cry about their grandmama, cry about growing up in a bad area, and be thankful to be in the league and having a life-changing situation. Be grateful that you had a chance to play football. That's effed up. When you got a guy like Eli Manning who gets drafted to the San Diego Chargers and says, y'all suck, I'm not coming to play for y'all. Y'all better figure it out. But when it comes to our athletes have to grovel and cry and be thankful for the opportunity to play college sports. Don't want money, don't want to get paid. Be thankful that we gave you an opportunity. But when it comes to all of these other people, they can deny who they're going to be drafted by. Hell, if that was the case, I wish LaMelo would have denied Charlotte and said I wanted to go to Golden State. But if LaMelo would have did that, y'all know damn well LaMelo Ball would have did that. They would have said he's the most arrogant, egotistical, unteam playing player in the history of anything. But when Eli Manning did it and Archie Manning did it, oh man, they're so business savvy. Man, watch out for the tricks, man.
Breaking news, and I had to look this up. True the King said it first. He said Doug Peterson himself got fired. I just saw Dan Graziano of ESPN confirmed Doug Peterson is out, all to the acquiesce of Carson Wentz.
Yep. So Jalen Hurts is just in limbo now.
You see, we just talked about it on this show, and now it happened. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Carson Wentz will be starting next year. If you're an Eagles fan, expect that. Carson Wentz will be starting, and that just shows you the different hypocrisies of the NFL, man. If this was any other player, if this was any other situation, this wouldn't happen. But yeah, Carson Wentz dodged the bullet big time. 704 Brown Charlotte. We will be talking about after the Hornets Knicks game tonight.
Can't
but
wait.
Also, shout out to New Media, Mr. Jones. I'm gonna make another video. We're gonna go live again in 30 minutes. We're gonna talk about LiAngelo Ball. It's just been confirmed that he was not drafted at all in the G League. We're definitely gonna talk about that.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So I'm about to I'm gonna get something to eat, get recharged, and we're coming right back at it.
Man.
You down with that, Rev?
You know I'm with it. Let's ride.
All right, man. Peace out, everybody.